welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy. So excited to have you all in the building. Well, it is spring, people. We made it through fall, we made it through winter. Now it is spring, and you know what it comes with spring. But before we get into that, let's get into the colors. If you're not a fan of colors, boo, but you should be. Colors definitely illuminates not only you, but your personality and brings out the person of you on the outside. So, of course, this great fit is from course, our favorite place, Shein. But you know, it's sponsored by. Very simple, very colorful, but it's great for the springtime. I'll surely get more use out of this. But let's jump right into it. As you all know, it is springtime. Springtimes bring people out, a refresh. Of course, you know, it is wedding season. A lot of people want to get married, do that great thing. But what happens when you spend X amount of money on your cake and it doesn't go as planned as the entrance? Check this out. Now, oh my goodness. Now, we want to commend the broom because of course he could have taken the high road, but he said, hey, let's make lemon out of lemon juice. Let me know in the comments, what would you have done? Would you have just sat there or would you have made your lemon out of lemon juice? Next, we know there's some bridezillas. We know there's probably some groomzillas, right? But when you're going for a venue, there's certain things that you may need, or there's certain things that you must have, and some things do not have. Well, this one particular event planner, she offers this place in her venue and some other special things as well. Let us know in the comments what would you like to have on your wedding day? Check this clip out.
Hey guys, it's Kristen from DLR with 60-second video of what's included in my venue and why these amenities are so important. Let's start it off. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, surround sound, round tables, Chivalry chairs. That's the upgraded chairs. Long tables. Our King of Prussia location also includes a bar station and cocktail tables. Now let's talk about the two venue amenities that are really, really important. A kitchenette. Now, while we do not allow cooking at neither one of our venues, we do have a refrigerator, which is perfect for your cakes or your cake pops, things like that. We have a freezer, which is perfect for your ice, a sink, and counter space. So if you need to do any prepping, your caterer needs to do any prepping, we have you covered. Now, the second venue amenity is extremely important, and it is parking. I even had clients who have called, and the first question they asked was about parking, meaning they were willing to walk away if we did not have a parking lot nearby or right outside the door. And I understand why. You know, sometimes clients, when you're booking, your event might be for 30-year-olds, you're turning 30 or you're turning 40, but guess what? Your mom's going to be there. Your grandmom's going to be there. You might have some great aunts and some great uncles, and not everybody wants to circle the block trying to find a parking lot. So finding a venue with a parking lot conveniently located right outside the venue is key, and we have that to offer at our location. If you guys are planning any events in 2024 and you're looking for a
I am with her 100%. Parking is surely key for me. Oh, you don't want to have yourself and your guests driving around. But let us know in the comments what is a must-have for your upcoming nuptials. Now I'm so excited to have my guest Sunah in the building. Yes, Sunah is here as we talk about women in business. She's an event planner and she's going to talk all about her business. And we're so happy just to have her. Hey, Sunah, so excited to have you. It is Women's Month. As we bring it to a close, we're so grateful just to highlight more women in business. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest Sunah about her business and more.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Welcome back to Coffee and Joy. So excited to have you in the building. Now we have my guest Sunah as we talk about women in business. Hey Sunah, how are you?
Hey Joy, how you doing?
Good, so excited to have you here. So before we get right into it, can you tell people a little bit about yourself and then we're going to jump right into our conversation.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Joy. Hello, everybody out there in internet land. My name is Sunah, and I'm the owner of Adorn Events and Decor, which is an event planning, decor, and balloon installation business servicing the DC metropolitan area. In March of 2024, we celebrated 5 years in business. So thank you so much, Joy, for the opportunity to come and talk about Adorn events and just women in entrepreneurship.
Oh, wow. So grateful. It's so great to see women empowerment, just women in business doing mighty and great things. So you've been in this business for a while. And of course, like I said in my piece, as you know, this is wedding season. What is like your number one thing that you see from brides that picking a venue or selecting decor? What is like the number one issue that you go through that you're like, okay, I wish they just do their homework or do a little bit more research? What is the issues that you have?
You know, the first thing I always tell my clients, especially when you are newly engaged or planning a big event, especially for a bride, is to just take a moment and just breathe, right? Because you're going to be planning all the way up until your wedding. So when you are picking a venue, the most important thing to do is to go and see different options. Yes, you drove past that church a million times and you always knew you wanted to go there and get married, but it's always good to check out different venues and see what they have. If you are working with an event planner or just going out and doing business on your own, you want to make sure you have a checklist of the important things. I love the clip you showed before we got started that talked about important ground elements like parking. Is catering included? Is the venue going to provide music? Like, what is included in the package? And then you can make the best decision based on your particular budget and needs.
Oh, wow. Now, with that budget, now, what has always been the issue? Because I know being a bride, right? Hopefully someday, right? I know just
Mhm.
speaking from a bride future perspective, do they go over the budget and how do you try to reel them in, try to keep that budget? Because I know with the internet now, with social media, excuse me, with social media, it's so much that we see that, oh yeah, I could get that on the low, I could make that on the low, I could get that, not knowing that on the low is really high. So how do you wrangle your bride or your groom in and try to keep them on budget?
So realistically, before you ever start planning a wedding, once you know you've been engaged and everything, you want to sit down and get a number in your head. This is the number I definitely will not go over, and then you have a bottom number. This is the number that I would like to stay within.
Mm,
So naturally, your venue and catering are going to be about 50 to 60% of your budget right there. Okay,
mm.
that's where most of your budget is going to go. Then you'll go into things based on your needs and preferences, like decor, venue, different elements, open bar, things like that. So when it comes to your budget, the one thing I want everybody watching this to know is that you are unlike anyone else. I have been in
Mhm.
business now, as you know, for 5 years, and no two couples are the same. So your budget is yours alone. Shop, get estimates, and make sure that you and your partner are on the same page.
Wow. Now, you could just say yes or no on this one. Now, have you met couples who are not on the same page?
Yes, of course. But it wasn't just that they were on the same page, weren't on the same page, it's that they didn't expect a certain item to be as expensive as it was.
Mm,
For example, flowers. When planning
yeah.
any event, especially weddings, when it comes to flowers, it is something that really takes an event from like beautiful to extravagant. And that comes with the price tag. So I believe that sometimes there are sticker items where you're not expecting, and it's no fault to anyone. This might be your first time getting married, first time planning an event. And so that's why it's great to bring in professionals like myself to come and kind of help you along that process so that you're not so surprised by what you learn going into different visits.
Wow.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
have.
I can imagine just the tussle of having a conversation between a bride and the groom. Now,
Yes.
knowing this could be such a very high level stressful
Yeah.
position. Why did you choose to become an event planner and start your own business?
That's such a good question. And it's something that it changes as to why I do certain events, but the core reason as to why I got an event is because I love sharing the most precious and happiest time with my clients. I think that I have a type of energy that brings joy to any event and any room that I step into. Shout out to Joy. But I also think that having somebody who really understands the essence and what's most important to the client so that I can take the design, the dream to execution is why I really got into event planning. I love just having that creative outlet. I love just the different types of events. You can have 6 different weddings, 6 different birthday parties, and each one will be different. So I love that about the space of event planning and just doing event production.
Oh wow, that's good. That's good to hear. Definitely, it surely is the part where the creativity. You really get to just be out of
Mhm,
that box and really open
mhm.
up and just really get to help your clients to show that hey, we could really make something happen magical on just on on this budget and really go from
Yes,
there. Because I know some
yes,
clients probably come with one idea and you really transform it to where, oh wow, how do we go from here? How do we go from that? How do we make that?
right,
Now,
right.
in the hustle and bustle of things, I know it's safe to say that just like me and just like yourself, we work a 9 to 5. How do you maintain
Yes.
that with your 9 to 5 and running your own business?
So running a business and doing a 9 to 5 is challenging, and you really have to want and have a desire to do both. Thankfully, I'm very passionate about both. I in my full time job and I'm a healthcare leader. I've been in the field for 10 years. I also work in the public speaking space and working with individuals to increase their voice and help them with their public speaking. So sometimes my worlds collide, right? But in
Yeah.
order to be efficient, really, I have to have a schedule. So I
Yes.
think, in the early stages of business, it was really a trial and error, figuring out what worked well. Is this something that I really wanted to do? And understanding what my barriers were, what my strengths were. And then as I developed and still learning and developing to this day, learning what my barriers are again. So during the week, for example, I can be accessible to all clients, but there is a certain timeline where it is all adorn, and once
Mhm.
I'm dedicated to adorning my clients, that's it. I'm not talking about healthcare. When I'm on the 9 to 5, I'm dedicated to that. I'm not talking about adorn. And that's what has helped me is really
Yeah.
separating, but making sure that the clients come first, understanding their needs and being there to make sure they're met. And that's how I've been doing it, and it's been working well.
On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, of course, would you call yourself like a planner, a strong planner, or just hey, we go by, we work it, or on a one, just spontaneous? Now, how would you rate yourself on the planning side?
Now, I can be a planner. I could be a 10 when need to. But I think every good planner has to have that flexibility and able to pivot. If your event planner doesn't know how to pivot and how to be resourceful and kind of how to roll with the punches, they're not a good event planner. And I think that's one of these
Mm,
strengths. There's nothing that can go wrong that I don't really think about navigating in the second option. So I love planning. I love timelines. I love a year's notice, but sometimes there are events that come up and you have about a couple weeks to iron it out.
yeah.
And I'm ready for those as well.
And I bring that up because, just being an event planner, on from the outside looking in, many people think like, hey, you have this,
Yeah.
8 by 10, 300 square foot planner. You got to write notes. You stick in here, you call in here. It's almost like the movie Jennifer Lopez, having like, calling someone, the event planner,
Hmm.
making sure, hey, we have this, we have like tide of anything that goes on. So being very meticulous, right?
Yeah.
Making sure that, hey, you answer every call, whether
Yes.
prior to the event and on the event and after the event.
Yeah.
So just making sure that everything is detailed because of course, I know if it's safe to say, many people look at event planner like, hey, you guys have it down to a
Yes.
T, you know. And how do and just having that down, how do you find time just to self-care for yourself? Just to make sure that, hey, I am together. I am good, making sure that my cup is full where
Yeah.
I'm not lashing out on my help or, the vendors that's needed. How do you maintain your self care?
Yes, and being a 10 when it comes to planning events, that means that no detail goes unnoticed or untouched.
Hmm.
So when I am on my downtime, Joy, I am on the downtime. Okay, so in between events, I take time for myself, but not always. Truly, I always find inspiration walking around like, oh, this will be a pretty venue, or oh my gosh, this will be a great place to have an. It's always on my mind, but you have to have time to just breathe and not putting too many events together. Again, that was something I had to learn along the way. We have a team that works to make these events beautiful, but you can't do so many events in one weekend. It's really about putting your time and effort and making that event special so that when you do relax and have your downtime, you don't feel guilty.
Oh, yeah, because I know for sure you really have to make sure, hey, you stop at the gas station, fill me up, and then, hey, I could pour into people
Yes.
because people need to hear that, right? Because it's just
Mhm.
not all just about you. Because if I'm not part of the equation, your
Yes.
event won't happen, and I need to
Yeah.
make sure I'm driving this boat correctly. So I just need to
Mhm.
make sure people understand that, hey, if you're deciding to become an event planner, you need to make sure
Yes.
you don't leave yourself out of the equation. So after
At
these
all.
messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest Suni as she showcased how to live on a budget, how to gain items on a budget. And just a quick clip. We don't have the audio. Of course, we don't want to get snagged from YouTube. So it's just a clip, and then we're going to talk to her a little bit more about the clip. So after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest Suni. Latest news, today's news, current news, gossip news, you name it. I am your host with Coffee with Joy as I share any up-to-date news that's taking place around the world. But if you would like to check it out, please make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Coffee with Joy, where I share the latest topic. I am your host with Coffee with Joy with today's topic. Welcome. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. And if you'd like to be a guest on Coffee with Joy, please make sure that you fill out our email or go to our social media, which is Coffee with Joy _. So after this clip, we're just going to show a quick clip of certain items that we're going to talk to Suna about it. Keep in mind, we don't have the voice only because we don't want to get copyrighted or stung by YouTube. So you see this clip here. So you were
Yes.
showcasing on how to, if you could walk us through it. Of course, I couldn't play the voice because I couldn't extract. We couldn't extract the music because, of course, we would have lost your voice. So I thought this was a great piece because of course, anyone that want to have lavish event. Sometimes some of the things that we have are right at the stores that we need, or how can we cut the cost, or how do we go to a wholesale? But you showed us right here how to be able to obtain that. If you could just talk us through that video.
Okay, Joy. So I was walking through the Dollar Tree for something unrelated to events, and I saw the cutest candle holders, as you saw in the video. And then I saw another candle holder, and then I saw another. I said, wait a minute, what is going on? So I quickly put it together and
Yeah.
assembled a little display because I felt like you wouldn't naturally go to the Dollar Tree and pick up candles, or there are some other places that we get a decor from a lot of event planners. We, get them made or go to different warehouses, departments, things like that. But never have I gotten something from the dollar store for candles for a specific tablescape. And I thought to
Mhm.
myself, somebody wants to know, because of course you want your event to be beautiful, but what about events at home? What about putting
Yeah.
on intimate dinners, things like that?
Yeah.
And especially for somebody who's in the event space, we're constantly in different realms and going different places for inspiration and for resources. So when I saw that, I thought to myself and said, somebody needs to see it. And I'm so glad I put it out there, because you can draw inspiration. And when you truly have a design and a vision for decor, you can spot quality. So, of course, I wouldn't just plop that candle holder on the table and that be it. You add other
Yeah.
elements like florals, menu cards, different things to the table. But that's
Yeah.
something that is, you cannot beat $1 for a candle holder. And it brings me to another point, Joy, that a lot of the brides that we work with also at
Yeah.
Adorn are DIY brides. This DIY bride is somebody who truly loves to get inspiration and little trinkets and
Mhm.
put it together. And I love those type of events as well, because what we do is we come in, we polish up the design, and we make sure to put everything into place so that it can look elegant, expensive, tasteful, and you have your guests leaving saying, wait a minute, where did she get that from? That is when
Right.
you really say and know that your event has been successful, when people remember it, not just for the
Yeah.
design, but for the entire experience.
Right. Right. No, that's facts. That's truly facts. Now, just to add on to that, like, how do you, thank you, you know, how do you solicit Adorn? How do you make Adorn outside of social media? How do people who wants to, looking for an event planner, how do you make yourself more vibrant outside of social media?
I love that you asked that. And I think you noticed that I'm wearing some Adorn
Yes.
apparel, right? So I want to shout out this business. It's called YSL Park Studios, and they
Okay.
did my t-shirt for today. So one of the things is marketing, talking about your business, connecting with like-minded individuals, talking
Mhm.
to different venue owners, and then going and thinking outside the box, folks that you might not think want to do events but are interested. So different corporations and businesses. And so that's how I get my name out about Adorn,
Yeah.
And especially one thing I want to point out, when you're
Uh-huh.
hiring an event professional, especially Adorn Events and Decor, you're not just hiring Suna, right? You're
Yeah.
hiring somebody who's connected to different event planners or connected to
Yeah.
different venue owners. You're connected to different vendors and caterers and DJs and all of that. No event can be done solely by one person. It takes a
Right.
team. So when you have and trust into a company, you're trusting into the team and the people that they align themselves with. And in order to do so, I have to go out and talk about my company. I have to
Yeah.
share and gain inspiration, not be afraid to grow and to fall sometimes and
Yeah.
to get wisdom. When I was first starting out, there's a couple people who were so just thoughtful and mentored me and gave me different
Mhm.
advice to continue and to just start off, which meant so much. There's no way I could be where I am without them. So that's how I
Yeah.
continue to grow. And I know that in the next 5 years, we're going to grow even more.
Mm. Yes,
Mhm.
5 years. Yes, yes. Because not many people could say that, right? Even for a
Mhm.
year. So when you're five
Yes.
years in a whole, of course, we dealt with the pandemic. That is truly a blessing, to honor, just to be able to breathe and still going, whether it's to a year, a month, that you're 5 years and you're still producing. Now, have you ever thought about, or you may already have done it, where as far as like workshops, because as
Mhm.
brides, you go as brides or future brides who may not even have a husband or boyfriend or whatever, but probably looking, because as the venues, you want, as we stated in the piece, you want a venue that house everything, to go
Yeah.
here, to pull from here, to get there. You want to be able to have those venues in hand, or just to know an event planner. Have you ever
Yeah.
thought about doing like workshops or gathering, or go to like the wedding expos, things of that nature?
Yes. All of the
Yep.
above. D Joy, all of the above. And I wanted to also make a point that not
Yes.
just for me, but for any event planner or event vendor that made it through COVID deserves a round of applause. Okay. Let me just say that really quickly because
Yes.
COVID was it was a trying time for all
Mm.
businesses. And just personally, a lot of families were impacted by the COVID pandemic. So to go through that, and any event planner or business that made it through that, I know without a shadow of a doubt they're stronger, and so are we. So I would love to in the future create workshops and opportunities. We have been blessed to work with interns with our companies that come and get free knowledge, free advice,
Mm.
so that they can go on and start their own business. We're not gatekeeping over here, okay?
Yeah.
We, especially women in business, I feel like we're always empowering other women, especially when you get around the good woman who like, I want to see you win. That's what
Yeah.
it's like. And that's what we definitely building here. So look out for not just workshops, but webinars and things, just helping every type
Yeah.
of event client get to their next level.
Oh yeah. Congratulations on that. Truly. Only because with the workshop, that's like hands-on. People are able to
Yeah.
see, they able as potential brides. Like I said, people
Yep.
don't even have potential spouse in queue, but just to be able to know there's a venue, because of course people are always looking for venues. And I know we're saying weddings, but that's for anything, right? But just making sure that, hey, you're able to make a connection with the individual who's over this event or
Yes.
over this venue. How can we, break it down? And it's something that you stated as far as truly not gatekeeping, right? The
Yes.
more that we share, because we all know what God has for you is for you. Of course,
Always.
nobody can't take what God already given you. So, of course, I want to produce it. I want to share it. I want to give it, just to be able to show that, hey, we're not here gatekeeping. We're not here, trying to house, because it's not going to do us any good. So why
No.
not share the information that's needed? Now you
At all.
being in the business for 5 years, where would there be anything in your 5 years that you would change in your 5 years?
For sure. There are a couple of things that I would change just to make
Mhm.
the better. I think starting off any business, you should talk to a business professional about finances, especially if you're in like a partnership, things like that, so that you understand the impact of each decision and how that impacts your business. I definitely feel that marketing from early on, when we first started Adorn, we
Uh-huh.
kind of tiptoed around it and didn't really put out too much information. I say if you're gonna go, either be all in or nothing, because that really shows the client who they're hiring. So that makes the
Right.
difference, and that's probably it. The only two. There's a
Mhm.
couple little things along the way of lessons learned that have always,
Yeah.
you take good with the bad and bad with the good, and you keep moving. So just understanding from 5 years ago that you will make it to the next level, if I just hang in there. So
Right.
that's really what I learned. But I also want to encourage, I know we're talking this, and it's Women's History Month, how
Yeah.
amazing. I feel so honored when you're talking about women entrepreneurship. I definitely think that connecting with like-minded individuals, and if there are men out there watching, if you're a man, we're not, like I said, we're not discriminating around here, okay? Connect with other individuals who are in the same space as you early on, to learn, to engage, to partner. That is really how you get to the next level, which is a hard, sometimes it's difficult because you're like, oh, I don't know. No, it is always to your benefit. And especially in the event space, there are so many events and there are so many opportunities that you're not going to be stepping on anybody's feet, but truly working together and creating a village is how you come out of the gate running. And that's what I learned and know now for
Mhm.
sure in business. So, going on into the next 5 years, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Yes, 5 years, 5 plus, and more and more and
And
more to 5 years.
more.
Yes. I'm curious to how did you come up with your name Adorn? Why
So
that name?
when at the time, we were, and I say we, I had a business partner starting out, and we
Mhm.
were just thinking about creative names that weren't too long, and it kind of made an impact. And when you say adorn, it just says everything. I want to adorn your event. That means that it doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful. It doesn't mean that it wasn't extravagant, but adding that little extra on top and make it the best it can by adorning it. And so that's why we said adorn, because we want our clients to know that they have, they have the requirements, they have the foundations, and we come and just add our expertise and magic on top to make it the best event possible.
Yes, adorn. Yes. I asked because this is your child, right? Your child is 5 years old. And it's special, right? Because you are the face, but the name what carries out, people will say adorn. So it's like, okay, everything you're saying encompass everything that we're doing. So it's just right in a nutshell. So of course, we could talk all day. We could have lots more conversation. But what is one thing that keeps you going in your business? Making sure, hey, you drive to the very top. Is there an affirmation, a quote, a prayer? What keeps Sunah going in her business to make sure that it's thriving and not just surviving?
Let me tell you, the base of my life, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Amen.
That's the beginning and the end. I think that, especially with event planning, as an event planner, but also helping our clients, they come to us sometimes and they are stressed or they don't know if they want to do the event. And by the time that our clients are done with us, they are always happy that they chose Adorn, And I think that is what really motivates me. I could truly do all things, not just in the event space, but just in life. And if I can motivate one person to celebrate themselves for their birthday, or to, yes, invite your family so that they can celebrate your love, or yes, invite, different people so that they can come together and break bread, then that really makes an impact and makes me happy. So I want everybody watching to know that you too can do all things. And if it's not through Christ, just through your own sustainment of knowing that better is to come.
Amen. Yes. Philippians 4:13, people. Make sure you remember that. Philippians 4:13. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you, because it can be done. It can be done. So that's true. So again, thank you so much, Sunah, for being on Coffee with Joy. Thank you. So please make sure that if you like to patronize Coffee with Joy, please make sure that you follow our Q codes, which is our Cash App or our PayPal. And any monetization is good, of course. We would love to have your support. And coming up tomorrow, we have my guest, Hollis, as we talk about enough. He started his own book as he write enough, as we go to explain. So please make sure that you catch tomorrow's show at 7 p.m. As you all know, if it's a weekday or weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Please make sure that you live life on purpose. Have a great night or day, and see you soon.